Welcome back to The Den, Authentic Barnwood. My name is Troy, and in this video, we're gonna talk sourcing barnwood. Today, we got a special surprise for you. We're taking you along on the process of finding the perfect barnwood. Now, we're sourcing barnwood, and that's the very first step before you can go through and make your furniture, etc. We're gonna go over this building from top to bottom, inside out, so you can see exactly what we're looking for when we're searching out barnwood. So let's get to her. You know, something else about these old buildings, it takes the exact same amount of work to take apart a building that you can't salvage all the wood from, and it's the exact same for the building where you can take all the wood from. So it's careful selection that's gonna make the difference. Oh man, this is cool. I don't know, you know, it's funny, but I've driven by this house for about 10 years and I've never come in. Why? Because I've never known really who's owned this before. They gave me a phone call and said, would you be interested in a house? And I'm like, would I? Check this out, we got some field stone. This looks like it maybe was it part of the house? What was it? Awesome. This is kind of interesting. This is my first time out here as well. Here, have a look inside. Yeah, this house has definitely seen better days. It's a beauty day out right now. Just after the new year, January, about -10, -15 this morning, about -10, -12 there now. That's Celsius. For our American friends, generally we spend, you know, a couple, 2, 3, 4 hours out at a location when we're checking a place out. Now this is only a house, I realize that, but some places, you know, you have the house, the barn, the outbuildings, chicken coops, granaries. We go check them all out. The most valuable wood that's on this building is definitely gonna be what's on the outside, this beautiful gray right here. As we said, the cream in our coffee. But it's a perfect accent color, and this is what we're looking for. And then the brown boards back behind, they're definitely in good shape too. We got 8-inch boards, and it's gonna be going all around the house. Now, I might just take a little bit off of each wall just to make sure that everything flows, but we know we got that. We can calculate what we got on the outside and calculate what we got on the inside, and we come out with a total, and we can kind of assign a value from there and see if it's worthwhile. Because these don't come down by themselves. They're gonna need some extra hands, tools, saw blades, fuel to get out here. We're gonna also have to get rid of the waste that's here, and there's gonna be a lot of waste. Speaking about hardware, check out this little hinge right there. It's always nice to see a set too. So we're paying attention to everything that's out here. Also, that's a square nail. That's wrought iron right there. Wrought iron. Pretty cool. This siding's got this warp and this cup to it. It'll go as far as it isn't nailed properly. So we want to watch out for that. That right there is garbage, 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 garbage. So right there, from there to the window's garbage. And you know, you got to kind of figure out what's out here. So when going out and sourcing barnwood, there's not a whole lot of tools that you need. You need some transportation to get there, obviously. Tape measure, some sort. Also, a couple pry bars. I want to know how wide the boards are back behind. This is one old house, way older than I thought it might be. So with these nails, they stopped making these square nails about the turn of the century. Right in the 1900s is when they started coming out with round nails. So this is cedar. We'll set them here. Nice. Just kind of a shady looking house on the inside. We'll have a look there in a minute. Wow, that's impressive. So right now we got off our checklist. We got some beautiful siding, and the majority of it's nice and tight to the wall. This is the only corner really that's kind of jammered. And then we got some nice brown board back behind, nice 3/4 inch stuff. Another thing that you want to be doing when you're going out and sourcing these buildings is checking out some of the hazards. Definitely tons of hazards on the inside of this house. We'll just call it the hazard. But on the outside as well. Like, it's hard to tell now when there's snow, and it does make me a little leery walking around here because there's always going to be a well. You don't know. There could be metal in the tall grass under the snow right now. Things like that, you're going to want to make note of it. That's probably one of the first questions I ask the landowner is like, where's the well? Do you know if there's one here? Generally they do know, and they can give you some good ideas. Also, anything else that you want to ask them, the landowner themselves, because they generally know quite a bit about their own land, is what are some of the other hazards that I might want to think about when out here? Of course, working off of heights is going to be one, things like that. Those are all controllable, but I'm talking about more the uncontrollable. One thing you will notice about this old building is that she's definitely accepted water. Check that out. That's the second level right there. For us, it's not really all about the money. Of course, we all need a little bit, but to come out to a building and kind of figure out how much is there and how much is salvageable and possibly how much we can sell, it's pretty exciting actually. It's like walking through the doors of history, right? And showing up in the 19th century, like the very start of the 19th century. This could possibly be at the tail end of the 18th century. Oh, this is a perfect opportunity. Hey, if you guys like this kind of video, go ahead, hit subscribe. We got a lot more coming out, and you never know, you might even see the video of us taking this house down. See what's behind door number 2, the breezeway. Oh, this building's in rough shape on the inside, that's for sure. Look at that floor. Supposing that was the kitchen and the living room, of course. Notice there's tons of lath. Lath is these boards right here, right? Tons of it in here. And plaster. That's probably the dirtiest part of this whole thing. You definitely want to mask. What I'm looking for right now is what wood is salvageable. So we got some bedrooms. Bedroom number 1. Bedroom number 2. Bedroom number 3. All of which are garbage. So like, you can't do nothing with that floor. Like, look how much snow's in here right now. That turns to water eventually. Gets sucked into the wood. Another thing worthwhile mentioning is charging to take this house down. If you want kind of a baseline, look at what it costs for a tracker to come out and demolish the place, burn. And also to bury or haul away all of the foundation, whether it be concrete or fieldstone. This one here, I can't really tell. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot, but generally, there's going to be a cellar underneath or some sort of a foundation. Absolutely, the house has to sit on something. You look at what the cost is to get rid of that, and if you can come in there, maybe just below, you got yourself one heck of a deal, right? These houses are liabilities. That's what they are to the landowner. So they're not treasure. They're treasure to you and I. But to the landowner, they're a liability. And so to get a little bit of money in advance to go ahead and make this project happen, that's gonna make you feel way more comfortable, and you can build your plan off of that. Boom, you got yourself one heck of a great deal. So you're probably like, all right, Troy, the barns and the outbuildings and the houses, they all come to you. What about me? Maybe this is my first house that I want to take down, or my first barn, or my first building. What I would suggest is to start out with a small building. Our first building was a 10 by 12 granary. Just a rectangle with a roof and a door. We started there and we did a number of those types of buildings, and we gradually got bigger and bigger buildings and bigger buildings and bigger buildings. But you got to start somewhere, and that gives you a great foundation of how these buildings were built, how to take them apart, and they're generally safe because they're small. You can do them off of a ladder. You don't need to be working at heights, not like this house, for example, or a barn or something, you know, a bigger size. That doesn't really answer your question, I know, but I'm getting there. What I would recommend, our first two buildings actually, they were at my grandparents' farms. And it was very nostalgic actually taking these buildings down, because I could, like, flashbacks from my childhood were coming to my mind when I was on my grandma's knee driving around the grain bins like a crazy woman, man, like a crazy person. all these things, cutting grass out there, all these things were coming up. That's how we first did it. Then our next building, we actually approached the landowner and said, hey, would you be interested in letting us try and take your building apart? And they said yes. So that's how we started. There was no payment. It was just do your best. And I, as in the landowner, said that they were going to have the Traco come in and take care of what I couldn't do. So that was the deal. We signed off on that and away we went. Later, as time went on, I wanted to do more than just off of a ladder and a Sawzall. So we started getting a little bit of money, and that's how we sort of progressed. Now, like I said, the buildings come to us. So my recommendation for you is go ahead, ask. Just ask. So that's the upstairs. I've seen everything I want to see up here. Even the trim's not even that nice. The other one is under here, the eaves. Nicest, widest boards out here. And they all look good all the way around. "18 feet, 13 feet spanning up. And we'll just go around and we'll measure the whole house. Just a slight disclaimer, before you go into any old building, definitely ask for permission, because I guarantee you no landowner appreciates someone going in and snoop around their building, right? Just think about it. Someone walks into your yard and checks out your garden shed because it looks cool. Same thing, it's just out in the field. If you want to check out the next step in the process, and that's salvaging barnwood, you're going to want to check out this video next.